Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Hour of Healing. I am your weekly host, Joe Debra. And friends, we have a powerful one today. We are talking about the topic elevated by defeat. Elevated by defeat. Friends, our guest is a very special friend, and you will find out why in a few minutes. He is in the person of Reverend Samuel Adom Inshira. He is a minister at Mountain Missions Ministries in Ghana, West Africa, where their headquarters is in Accra, which is the capital of Ghana. He is a proud father and a husband, and a dear friend and a brother. Friends, when I say a brother and a friend, we have known each other for 23 years, and we have been friends for 21 of those 23 years. So when I say a brother, he indeed is a brother. He's a wonderful man of God. I personally call him the man of mysteries. He is a custodian of mysteries and principles. And I am so excited we get to have a conversation with him today on this powerful topic, elevated by defeat. So friends, without much ado, I'll welcome Reverend Adumun Shira so that we can get our topic started today. Reverend Sammy, welcome to the
Thank
show.
you very much, Dr. Joe. In fact, you've been doing amazing work, and I believe that you are making a lot of impact, not just to the people that are closer to you, but also to those of us that are here and countless people that probably you are not privy to see them. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm humbled by those wonderful comments. Friends, we are talking, like I said, about elevated by defeat. You know, we have all had defeats in life. I mean, if you know anyone who has not had a defeat in their life, please kindly send us their number because I would certainly love to reach out to them. But why do we go through life when there is so much defeat? Some will say, why even try if you know that you may get defeated? You know, I believe it's Maya Angelou who has been credited with the saying that you will face many
Mm.
defeats in your life, but never let yourself be defeated. And I think it's so true because, Reverend, as we go through life, we face so many challenges, we face so many issues in life. So, my first question to you, in a way of kind of setting the foundation for our conversation today, is defeat really a bad thing?
Okay, Dr. Joe, thank you very much. In fact, even for your introduction, you've had a lot, and it's the introduction is even a topic on its own. I believe that defeat
Mm,
in itself, a lot of people will say defeat is failure, but defeat means that you know gaining your expected resource, gaining your expected
mm,
resource at
mm,
a
mm,
particular time or a season.
mm.
So
Wow.
it means that any man that has a particular expectation, the expectation is that you have a desired resource. And anytime that we are not able to achieve the result within a
Mm,
particular time, then we term it as defeat. And I believe that every success,
wow.
every form of success has a part of defeat attached to it.
Wow. Wow.
What it means, the only time that we can achieve our aim is to overcome a certain obstacle. The only time that
Correct.
we can have resource is to overcome certain things that we call a test. Anything that has
Mm,
results
mm,
attached to it means that there's also a trial or a test. So then it means that if
mm.
defeat can be equated as failure and other trials, then it means that on our road to success, defeat is also a part of it. When we are denied at a
Wow.
particular time, then our defeat, regaining access to continue in the aspect of defeat, bring us to fulfillment.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for that powerful answer. And as you were giving your answer, you know, a character came in mind, and that is Thomas Edison. I believe I have actually referred to him on this podcast
Mm,
before. He has been credited with the invention of light bulbs, and history has it that he failed or he did not obtain success, his determined goal,
Sure.
over 100
Mm.
times. And when he eventually was able to come up with the longest lasting light bulb at that time, which lasted for six
Mm.
hours, they interviewed him and said, "How did you feel about all those defeats?" And he said, "I did not have
Mm.
defeats. I had 100 steps
Sure.
in accomplishing
Mm.
my goal."
Sure.
So I
Sure.
think what
Sure.
you are
Sure.
saying is so
Sure.
profound and so true, that if we are able to have a change in our mindset, and that is what I am understanding from
Mm.
what you sharing with us, even just with your first answer, that if we change our mindset from thinking or from looking at the inability to obtain those results, I think that definition is very powerful,
We
Reverend.
thank God.
Um, if we start looking at that as a means to get the results or the desired wishes or results we want, I think that alone will be a blessing for us. So God bless you so much for that. I think that is a very powerful definition and explanation.
Sure. We thank God.
So I want to dive a bit more into it. So, what really then is the difference between defeat and surrender or giving up? Because based on your definition, how would we be able to distinguish those two?
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Joe. It's also a wonderful question as well. In fact, as I said, on the road to success, you have defeat. Uh, Probably let me take you, since I'm a minister of the gospel, let me take you to the Bible. When you read the book of Exodus,
Absolutely.
the chapter 2, the Bible talks about the Israelites in a foreign land or in Egypt. The Bible said they had gone there
Mm,
because of their patriarch, who was Joseph. And when a new Pharaoh came,
mm,
forgot about the good things that this man Joseph did. But then the Bible said in the chapter 2 of Exodus that there was a decree because the Israelites, they were abandoned. They were becoming many. The Egyptians were afraid that perhaps they would join their enemies to fight
mm,
against them. But then the Bible said there was a decree and a
mm,
command that every male child should be killed. I'm coming at the difference between defeat, failure, and giving up. The Bible said a woman
mm,
who was a part of the Levite decided that she would not kill the son. The
mm,
Bible said she kept
mm,
on preserving the son until about 3 months when she could no longer do it. And she did not hand the baby
mm,
Moses to the Egyptians, but rather placed him in a basket, put him by the Nile River, and even had her daughter looking after Moses. Listen to me.
mm,
All the women among the fold of the Israelites that gave up their sons, that was to say to give up or to
wow.
surrender. And the woman that
Wow.
kept Moses for the number of months, placed him in the basket, had somebody guiding the person, is the person that saw defeat and yet what? Saw that something good can come out of it. Anytime that
Wow.
God has a purpose, as I said, we move on from defeat because of an expectation. We give up at
Yes.
defeat because we lose an expectation. Every man's
Mm,
expectation carries the potential for his breakthrough or miracle or his success. So they
wow.
kept baby Moses because they knew that there was potential in the baby. Those that gave up their sons
Mm,
realized that there were no potential. They could not even give their children the chance. So those women that gave up their sons, they surrendered. They gave up willingly. The one that kept
wow.
Moses did not what? Give up Moses in the midst of defeat and failure, kept him because there was something that was a potential in their expectation. Every man's expectation carries a potential for his success and breakthrough. And that is what we do when we move from defeat and even go on the road for success.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. And audience, I hope you are beginning to understand why I say he is a man or a custodian of mysteries. Everyone's expectation carries the potential for
Sure.
breakthrough. Don't forget that, because I believe that is very powerful. And I want to touch base on the issue or on the theme of expectation for a little
Mm.
bit, because we go through life in our day and age, especially in the western part of the
Sure.
globe, where there is so much stress, so much
Mm.
pressure. And so I think that sometimes, even though people have not given up, but they really lose faith in what their
Mm.
expectations really were
Mm.
because of the pressures of
Sure.
life. So can you tell us a bit more about this theme of expectation, and then we will pick back on the defeat aspect.
Okay. So as I said, we will still go back to the Bible. You know,
Yes.
all of us have been assigned by Christ and by God. And I believe that even before we came on this earth, there's a particular purpose and expectation that we all have. Okay. The Bible
Mm,
says that the expectations of a good man, the Lord will not cut short. Any man that
mm,
decide to embark on a journey is the man that has an expectation. We have expectations in our marriages,
mm.
expectations in our field of work,
Yes.
expectation even in the courses that we undertake during our academic and career seasons. So any step that any man pick,
Mm.
at all steps, we pick steps not because we want to pick them, but because of expectation. So we decide to marry
Wow.
certain people because of an expectation. We decide to
True.
even go to certain churches, even the friends that we have around us. We have particular choices because of an expectation. And as I said,
Mm,
a man with purpose derives his purpose from the expectation that he's anticipating.
mm-hmm,
So we are Christians because we believe that there's salvation in our Lord Jesus. We are also children of God, and we walk by the tenets and the doings and the teachings of Christ because there's an expectation. Okay. So
mm,
any step that any man picks, he picks them because there's an end result and our expectation of what we can achieve, what could come to us,
mm,
the end results, what we can form, what can come to us. Those are the things that determines our tenacity, our perseverance,
mm,
our endurance,
mm, mm.
our goodwill,
Yes.
even our acceptance of situations that we find ourselves. And for the topics that we are discussing, the little potholes and bumps that come in forms of defeat and
Mm-hmm,
failures, the expectation that in the next 5 years we would want to be the best versions of ourselves allows us to work and to work towards it
very true.
by not looking at just the difficulties that we find ourselves. Like in the book of Romans 8:18, that the glory that will come in the latter days, they can never be compared
Mm,
to what?
mm.
The present suffering. So
Yes.
our expectations, they are the things that give us comfort in difficulties because we expect a
Mm,
result.
mm,
And for us to achieve that,
mm.
we live in our expectation and ignore the suffering or the defeat that comes our way.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for that powerful answer, Reverend Samuel. And dear listeners, if you're listening to us, we are talking about Elevated by Defeat with Reverend Samuel Adominshira, joining us from Ghana, West Africa. And Reverend, as we were talking and as you were giving the explanations to expectation, I couldn't help but wonder to
Mm,
myself that we live life basically with
sure.
expectation. Based on your explanation, I mean, you can't have hope, you can't have anything in life really,
Sure.
you can't really live
Sure.
without
Of
expectation,
course.
based on how you are explaining
Mm,
it to us. And so then my question is, does it matter where your expectation or your hope is placed? Because if your expectation of a better end is what allows you to be able to go through the hurdles and the potholes that we go through, like you
sure.
sharing, then does it matter where my expectation is? For instance, in this case, you gave two biblical examples. Now, does it matter if my expectation is in God, if my expectation is in my academic abilities, if my expectation is in my career or my profession? Does it matter where our expectation is placed? Can you shed some light on that?
Okay, Dr. Joe, as I earlier on made mention, our expectations carry the potential of our success or what we want to achieve.
Yes,
So therefore, it means that
yes.
our expectations matters. It matters. By God's
Mm,
grace, I know you're a medical doctor, and throughout your course, your study years, and all those things, I believe that you had a particular end resource. Probably even with what you've achieved
mm,
now, you still want to achieve more. So our
yes,
expectations matters. It matters to the purposes that you want to achieve. It matters to the environment that we want to change. It matters to the impact that we want to make. It matters to the people that are around us. Even them, our expectations affect them. So our expectations
mm,
matters because it is our expectations that inform us in the kind of choices and decisions that we are supposed to make. I'm sure during certain times
mm,
you had the opportunity probably to have made merry, probably to have gone certain way. But because of the expectations that you were having, or the expectations that you deem appropriate for yourself and the field of endeavor, it made you do certain things, made you lay aside certain things, made you move in a particular
mm,
direction,
mm.
made you have a certain people that you surrounded yourself with. So your expectations even determines your circle. So it matters a lot.
Yes, yes. So the question then I'm asking
Mm,
is, so with this example, yes, my expectation to be the best version of myself, for
mm,
instance, is what influences everything. So yes, I get it that expectations matter. Now my question
mm.
is, when you have this expectation, is there a source that you place this expectation in, or is just centered on you? That your expectation in life always has to be about where you want to be. For example, my expectation is to be a physician who doesn't just
Mm,
heal with medicine, but also heal with the word and the power of God.
okay,
So that's my expectation that that is possible. But because that is my hope, my expectation is that if I stay with God, He will help me accomplish
sure.
that. Now, I cannot have that expectation and place my hope in myself. I don't know if my question
Sure,
is clear.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, so the question I want to find out is, yes, we get, I understand, and I believe our audience understand now that expectations matter because we cannot do life without
Sure.
it. So knowing that it matters, does expectation always has to rely on ourselves or rely on someone or something else?
Okay. We will still come back to what we said. Even the sources of
Of
your
course.
expectation, okay,
Mm.
is dependent on the purpose that you chooses for yourself. For
So
the
the question is, do you choose your own purpose then?
no, you don't. You don't. There's a part that we
So that's where
yes,
my
you
question
don't. There's
is.
a part that we play, but the
Okay,
greatest pool of
okay,
source that we all drink from is the purpose that God gives us. And as I said in my
okay,
introduction,
okay.
is that any man that comes here, God brings us to this earth for a purpose. Then it means that God is the
Yes,
ultimate source. And I believe that we are
correct,
just around the introduction. When we delve deeper into the elevation by defeat, then we even
correct.
dwell on the fact that there is hope in our defeat. And the
Mm,
greatest part of
mm,
hope
mm.
is the source, which is our God. Okay.
So I'm jumping
Ah,
ahead.
no, you are not really. I think probably we spend about yes a lot of time on just the introduction. We've not even moved to what. So yes, there is a source that we all derive our expectations from, and for Christians,
Okay.
our source is God. And believe you me, there are a lot of people that
Mm,
are trying to make become better versions of themselves. Probably because of a past experience, it can be a source to them. Because of a
mm,
family that
mm,
they came from, it can be a source to them. Probably because of
mm.
past events, it can be a source to them. Even in defeat,
True.
it can be a source for someone's expectation. So yes, our sources are not
Absolutely.
necessarily self-centered, but they dependent on other things. God, family, friends, even with
Mm.
social classes can determine our expectation and how we want to achieve good things in life.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for that clarification. And yes, that was the question that I was asking. Sorry, the question was too cumbersome. So I want to go back now that we understand that expectation carries our potential for breakthrough, and our expectation is embedded or derived from our purpose and has many other sources, our environment, and all these things. Then now I will take you back to the issue of being elevated by defeat and ask the question that how do we avoid giving up or surrendering when defeat comes? Because it appears that defeat will definitely come.
This is also a wonderful question. In fact, as I said, on every road to success, there's defeat. And believe in me, defeat
Yes.
is always closer to success.
Mm,
Defeat
mm,
is always closer to success. In fact, and for men, we've been engineered to come across defeat one way or the other. The Bible says
mm,
for
mm,
a seed to germinate to become that which can sustain even men needs to be put into the ground. It dies before it sprouts forth. So it means that
mm,
any
mm,
man that want to achieve is the man that is able to
mm,
overcome, is the man that is able to see beyond defeat, is the man
mm,
that is able to persevere in the midst of difficulties, is the man
mm,
that is able to see an end goal, is the man that understands that my purpose can be achieved when I move ahead of defeat. And you see, defeat only comes to teach us that one, we can learn, we can unlearn,
mm.
we can relearn,
Wow.
and we can become better. Defeat is a teacher.
Mm,
Defeat is strength and not weakness.
wow. Wow.
So a man that needs to move ahead, move beyond defeat, should understand that anything that brings defeat to you also has success for you. And to understand
Mm,
that perseverance also pays. You already spoke about the one that invented the light bulb and all those things. Even in the land of America, you can
Thomas
talk
Edison.
about Abraham Lincoln. At certain age,
Yes.
23, he lost an election. 25, he tried again. 27, he lost. He wanted to go to the Congress, he lost. He wanted to be
Mm,
chosen, he lost. The next attempt, he was what? Accepted. Until he was around 50 something, that he was not only chosen as a mere person, but as a president, because he persevered and realized
mm,
that there was
mm.
something that was beyond defeat. As I said, defeat is not defeat. Defeat is only a means toward our victory. So the man that wants to look
Wow.
beyond defeat is the man that sees an end goal, sees that in the defeat there's something there. In the defeat, there
Mm,
can be
mm.
achieved. In the defeat, we don't give up. A man that moves beyond defeat is the man that ignores defeat and can never be termed as defeated. Even in
Mm,
defeat, a
mm.
man that tries again and falls again has overcome defeat. So if you want to move
Wow.
beyond the defeat, is to see the end goal. As I said, our expectation. I can't remember when we were in the university, and I happened to offer banking and finance for my first degree. And
Mm,
banking and
mm,
finance virtually had virtually all the other subjects. There's economics in it,
mm,
there's accounting in it, there's management in it. So I had one guy that used to be a very close friend, and even in our childhood days, we grew up in the same area. He had wanted to become a banker, and his desire was to be the governor of the Central Bank of Ghana. But in our
mm,
second year, when we started with our major and things were quite difficult, some of us failed some of the subjects. And what affected him was that there was a particular person that he helped in our exams.
mm,
The person passed and he rather failed. And this
mm,
friend of mine
mm.
decided to stop schooling, all because he had
Wow.
failed that level. Dr. Joe,
Mm,
could you
mm.
believe that those of us that we didn't have good grades, we wrote again? And some
Of
of
course.
us came up with very good grades after our project work and all those things. He dropped out.
Mm.
He never had the courage to
Wow.
write again. About 2 weeks
Wow.
ago, I went to see him. So I asked his sister, his whereabouts. Do you know what the sister said? He said the conditions in the
Mm,
capital is too difficult. So I moved to the village. Because the guy never moved on from the first defeat in the university.
mm,
He
mm,
couldn't
mm.
face the struggles
Wow.
of life now.
Wow.
And for those of
Wow.
us that
Wow.
persevered, wrote again, had very good grade. In fact, if you choose about 5 of the best students, some of us that wrote again were part. He did not go back,
Wow. Wow.
and when things became difficult now, he still could not survive. Any man that faces defeat and goes beyond it and work towards achieving success is the same man that what faces what success in the midst of defeat. Because the thing is, there will be obstacles on the road of life. There will be failures
Yeah.
and there will be failures and there will be failures. But the one that is able to
Mm.
rise above defeat is the same person that would overcome certain challenges in a future year.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for that powerful example. And, Reverend Sami, as you talking, as you said in your last statement there, that the one who is able to stand in the face of defeat is really the one who is able to have victory or
Sure.
success in the midst of defeat.
Mm,
And I think that is very powerful when we apply it to our lives because this is very practical and that's what we talk about in Hour of
mm,
Healing. And so we will be diving in the next section, we will be diving a bit more about how we heal from failures and all those things. But, I can't help but to draw our audience attention to the fact that being defeated is not the end.
sure.
Like you said, defeat is very close to success, or defeat is closer to success than we think. And if you are not close enough, why do you think the defeat will come in the
Of
first place?
course.
If you don't have that expectation, or if you are not closer to that
Mm,
expectation, why would defeat come?
mm,
And so I thank God for what you are sharing with us today because I really and truly believe that this will impact many
mm,
lives that are able to give themselves to this and to apply
mm,
some of the things that we are talking about on this platform
mm,
today. But I want us to shift gears a bit. Like I said, we are on Hour of
mm.
Healing. My question for you is, are there foreseeable problems? Are there, let's say, downsides, negative consequences of having this mindset that defeat is not the end? Are there negative or foreseeable challenges or problems that if we adopt this mindset, we can face in the near future?
Okay, Dr. Joe, there are a lot of challenges. In fact, the one that decide not to give up and to go beyond defeat is the one that hold
Mm,
onto hope. And hope hope
correct.
hope is one thing that uh, people around you can never measure it. except you that you are
Mm,
holding on to it. And hope is not just a feeling, but it's a choice to
mm.
believe in the possibility of having
Wow.
a desired resource. So any
Mm,
man that decide to hold on to uh the hope that things will be fine and move beyond defeat. The challenge is that most of the time you're alone. Most
mm,
of the time you're alone.
mm.
You can talk about Noah in the
Very
Bible.
true.
The guy was around 480 years when God spoke to him. It took 120
Mm.
years for the flood to come. A man
Wow.
that hold on to hope and expectation that in the midst of defeat something will come. Mostly you are left
Mm,
alone. Secondly, sometimes you can't have supporters.
mm,
Any man
mm,
that is left
mm.
alone is a man that does not have support. The next
Wow.
thing is that you can even doubt yourself. You
Yes.
can doubt yourself, especially when we have timelines as to when we want to achieve certain things.
Mm,
Especially when we are moving on the road of success and we believe that we won't encounter anything. Sometimes, in the midst of defeat, you may doubt the very thing that brought you to undertake that particular journey. And that is a challenge. So most people encounter defeat. In their defeat, they fail to rise up again because they are left alone. Believe in me, a lot of people would want to
mm.
be associated with people that have already made it. People want to see
True.
results and not the preparation. And, and,
Yes.
and as I said, defeat is part of the preparation. So a lot of
Mm,
people can be helping you at one point, and when you are not careful and there is defeat, they leave you. You are left
mm,
alone
mm,
on the road, and again you begin to doubt yourself. The same thing happened in the Bible, where John have to go and ask, "Are you the one that is the Messiah?" After he has said in John
mm,
2:28 that here cometh the Lamb
mm,
of God that take away the sins of the world. Even when Jesus had not
mm,
started his
mm.
ministry, when things became
Yeah.
difficult, he said that, "Are you the one to come?" Don't forget that he said
Wow.
that even your shoes, I can't lace them. So you see, difficulties and failures and all these things makes you doubt yourself, and it is a challenge. And doc,
Yeah.
whenever you doubt yourself, you give others room not to believe in your vision,
Mm.
and it is a challenge.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Reverend Samuel Adumshira. This is a very powerful and a very thought-provoking point that you're making here. Thank you so much, dear listeners. He has said it all. There is not much that we can convey today based on our conversation today, but to help you understand that this is a clarion call for each and every one of us to confront the inevitability of setbacks. Setbacks will come, defeat will come. We need to make the decision, the choice. We need to have that expectation that will help us to be able to go through it. Friends, I cannot talk about everything that he has shared with us today, but I know that you have been blessed because I have been blessed. It is this hope that you have that will bring about the ability, the resilience, the perseverance, the determination that will enable you to overcome the various defeats that come your way. God bless you so much for joining us today on this thought-provoking topic, Elevated by Defeat. We will see you same time next week. God bless you and